Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulih Kareem Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Adada khalqihi wa jama'ati arshihi wa qada nafsihi wa bidhalika al-Fatiha. The Honorable Principal and the faculty and young gentlemen of Law College, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I myself am honored and humbled by your reception and your love and you all taking on the time to listen to what little I have to say. But I'm going to keep this very light because I know you all preparing for the exams, you all have tests coming up, and of course one of the things that we were not sure about being able to arrange this talk is the fact that your studies should not be affected. So I thought that all the more reason that you people should be given at least an hour off from your studies to take a break so I can speak to you. I do see some faces which I remember. How many of you were there the last time I spoke to the students? Raise your hands. I was also there myself, I remember. Almost everybody was there. Right, that's very nice. I had a lot of fun talking to you last time. I remember that gentleman, the third row and the third seat. Could you stand? I can't remember your face. I remember good looking faces, so, like my own. Please sit down, young man. Thank you. We spoke about some things last time, and of course I have lots to talk about. I love telling stories and I love talking, and I love talking to people like yourself who are on the verge of the launching pads of professional life. Very soon you should be going into what we call the real world and be able to, inshallah, exercise and flex your intellectual muscles and make your room wherever you go. Before and if I start my own discussion, why don't you people tell me what you want to talk about? Is there something you want to talk about? Because I've got lots of stories to tell, lots of things to talk about. I have so many topics. I can talk endlessly about food if you want. I can talk about biryani, and I can talk about, especially about Miss Biryani. And I can talk about bhong, and I can tell you that nihari is supposed to be from mutton, not beef. But but why don't you, if anybody have any idea, who taught me to talk about something special? What I would like is preferably about, say, careers, about, say, the purpose of life, about how to make it out. Of course, you're being trained, you're being mentored, you're being taught, but a little extra. And maybe about your feelings for religion, or Islam, or questions, or objections. I welcome objections. If you have objections, if you got something you don't like about it, you can say it to me. I don't mind. If you have confusions, I'll take that as move on. But any time in this discussion, this is open-ended, we have about an hour or so. If you want to see anything, please raise your hand. Feel free to ask questions. I will feel free to answer them at that time or later. You know, when I was your age, I was just talking to a young man I just met a few minutes ago on my way here. And I was telling that gentleman that I know his father and I know that his father is a wonderful human being. And he said to me, yes. And it's a big challenge to fill those shoes that my father has left, which he has. And maybe some of you also have a similar situation in your families. I had great shoes to fill myself. I had this issue. My father was a very amazing human being. As in your age, we had our differences on almost everything. I made a point to disagree on everything everybody said. My mother, she is mashallah still alive and she is still wonderful. She jogs 5 miles a day. I cannot jog 5 miles a day. So I had big shoes to fill. My grandfather is considered to be one of the biggest authorities on zoology in the world. My great-grandfather was the first PhD of India. So I had big shoes to fill. So ever since I was a little boy and then a young teenager, I always wanted to grow up and become Jahangir Mahmud and nobody else. I always wanted to grow up to become me. I did not want to become like my father. I admired my father for what he was. I admired and I, God forbid, but semi-worshipped some of my teachers even, my mentors. But I never wanted ever to be them. Yes, maybe dislike them and this quality of theirs and this particular tact they had, this particular blessing that they had. But in all honesty, I just wanted to be myself, to grow up and to go from young boy Jahangir Mahmud to young man Jahangir Mahmud and just Jahangir. And I became that. So I have my success. I grew up to be me. And amongst all the different success that I've had in my life, I think this is probably the best one. That I can really value the most. I became myself. I found what I wanted to do in life. I'm happy, alhamdulillah. Sometimes, my wife tells me that, don't tell people this because nazar lag jayegi. But that's the price you pay for being that handsome. Can't help it. Kya kare aap? I can't be a good guy. But on a serious note, when you, but I'm pretty jealous. When you have success, and I thought it would be sort of self-promotion to show off that success to people, but I always like to share that with my children, with my nephews and my nieces and all young gentlemen and young ladies I come in contact with. And my success or my story is so important. But first of all, it's my story, so it's important to me. But when I was your age, you are between 15, 16, and 17, 18. I'm going to share something very personal today. When I was 17 years old, I was, or always was, the apple of my father's eye. I was his favorite child. I was the eldest. I was the firstborn. And my father did not ever hug or pick up or kiss any of my siblings because he was so biased towards me. He said, he might feel that I am sharing his love with other people. He loved me so much. My father was not very expressive. In those days, I guess it was not the thing to do. It was not the cool thing to do, to express. But I do know he did that. And the older I get, I know more now about him. But you see, the point here is today that he was very upset and he thought that this son of mine will never amount to anything. And he did not, he meant it. Because 16 years ago, or at the age of 16, perhaps it did seem that way. And if I look back in hindsight, and hindsight is always 6 by 6, so perhaps yes. And when I look back and I see myself, and if I can do all these things, I have worked with as a consultant to education institutions around the world in more than 40 countries. I have written 22 publications. I want to hit a century before I die. I will, inshallah, hit a century. I have students, I have associates around the world. My books have tens of thousands of downloads. I think that's not a bad deal, is it? Is it a bad deal? And all this, I achieved all this before I was 40. And that is why, if I can do it, anybody can do it who wants to do it. Anybody can do it just because anybody can do it. No, not anybody cannot do it. Anyone who wants to be someone. anyone who wants to make a contribution, anyone who wants to make a contribution to others, anyone who wants to lead a meaningful life, something which amounts to something, some life that rises above the level of being a consumer, of making money, of hoarding wealth, something beyond that, something with meaning, and above all, something that makes you happy, something that spells and glitters with success. So before I continue, let's see if you're all on the same page or not. Because unless you want to do something meaningful, unless you want to do something which makes you happy and successful, I will not talk about this next topic. We talk about something else. So anybody out there who wants to be meaningful, successful, happy, could you raise your hands? And it's not a condition. Meaningful life, successful, happy life. Achha, Saurabh ko chaliye. Chalo. We used to have this, if everybody wants it that way, have it that way. We are all created unequal. All of us. We're not equal. You're all different. That makes us unique in an oxymoron way, but it's there. But we all are gifted with certain qualities. What happens is, those qualities were not used, those qualities were not in play, those qualities were not recognized, become rusty and rustier, and then they fall apart into small little pieces, into crumbs. It happens to the best of us. People say that every one of you has inside sown the seeds of greatness. No, I don't think everybody is trying to be great. The world cannot work like that. But everybody is just trying to make at least one single great change on the face of the earth. Yes, one small change. Or large change, but one meaningful change. To leave a legacy. To do something that counts. We can all do that. How many of you know about Rosa Parks? Rosa Parks, nobody knows Rosa Parks, I guess. She's too old and not even pretty, bichari. Who will remember her? Rosa Parks is the very first black woman. They were called black then. They're called African Americans now. The very first woman who went up into a white bus. It was segregation back in the 60s. In America, the land of the pure, the free, the land of democracy, black people had different buses, different schools, different streets, different roads, different neighborhoods. They could not come into the white areas unless as servants. So she had the nerve. It was a crime to do that. If a black person went onto a white bus or a white area, it was a crime. It was a penal offense. She could go to jail. Knowing that she could go to jail, she had the nerve to stand up and walk into a white bus and spark, that little spark that she lit began a chain of events that went on and on and on and on. And today you have an American president who is black and half Pakistani actually. He's half Pakistani, right? Is that a good thing? Probably is. Today you look at the president and you see the rights of people and all that, and then you don't know about Rosa Parks because nobody knows her perhaps, but I think that she had a meaningful life. Many people know about the Reverend Martin Luther King, and he was a wonderful orator. But yes, all of these people were part of that process. But Rosa Parks has her own little tiny place. What a wonderful, wonderful place she has in black civil rights history. In our own country, we have this gentleman. We all know about him. Ever since I have seen him, he wears this grey, very inexpensive suit, salwar kameez, that's got stains on it. Either he has 100 of them or only a few of them of the same color. And that poor, half-literate gentleman has done more work for those in need of medical assistance than anybody else in modern history. Of course, I'm talking about Abu Sattar Idi. God bless him, he's not well, I hope he gets better. Allah will wish the best for him. A single man. He had no education. You have education also. He did not have resources at hand that many of us have. We spend more on pizza in a month than he spends probably in the whole month on himself. There are people in this world who do meaningful things. And there are people in this world who do meaningless things. Meaningless things. I just spoke shortly about things I've done. I took a look at my classmates, and one of my classmates, he's the chairman of one of the world's biggest corporations in Pakistan. He's the head of Pakistan, in Asia or whatever. And he makes more money than I've ever seen in my life in 1 month. But to be honest, I look at him and I see a person with a meaningless life. What is his meaning of life? He wears expensive watches. He wears expensive clothes. He's got an expensive car. He's got a fancy, flashy sports car. He's got a lovely house to live in. And that's about it, is it? And that's about it. A meaningful life is one which is satisfying. Right inside the core of your heart, it satisfies you. And that's why it's a big and tall order. We begin by finding what is called the element in you. Find the element in you and go for the element. The element is the only thing that's going to make you happy, the only thing that will give you the core satisfaction in your life. The element is something which gives meaning to your personal life as well as your professional life. The element is something which has two qualities. Do we have a quote? One, it's something that you enjoy doing. You will enjoy doing something. You will want to do something. It may not be the regular engineering or medicine or architecture, but something will deep down which you really want to do. You like to do it. You all have something. We either know it, and I really hope that soon you'll find out if you don't know right now. And the second thing in the element is to be good at it. So you should like doing it, and you should be good at it. If you like doing it, but you're not good at it, you won't be successful, will you? You know, when I was in grade 3, I loved to paint and draw. And I was born around the time when Picasso died, so my mother would say that Picasso's soul has come into my son. He has artistic fingers, he used to say. उसकी उंगलियां बड़ी आर्टिस्टिक है. पिकासो की रूह आई है इसके अंदर. मेरा बेटा बहुत बड़ा आर्टिस्ट बनेगा, पेंटर बनेगा. Unfortunately, my mother was the only person in the world who thought so. My art teacher did not agree. Nobody in the world. And looking back at my old paintings, I have to be with those people also. They were right. I could never be an artist. But I did not know it at that time. And I thought I am pretty good. I thought at least I was good. But it wasn't my element really. I might have enjoyed doing it, but I was not good at it. I did not have that thing then that could make it work. So if you just like something, you like to do something, you like to be something, but you're not good at that, and you don't make yourself good at that, you might be a bit happy sometimes when you do it, but you will never be successful actually. And you will never be satisfied in your life. But if you are good at something, like one of my friends, he's a doctor by force. His dad wanted to be a doctor, so he did his FSC and he did not get good marks. He couldn't get into college. And at that time, we did not have these private colleges, so it was just two in Lahore. He couldn't get into medical school. He gave the exam again. So this time he got even fewer marks. But apparently nobody realized that, and then he gave the exam again, and then he got even fewer marks. And I'm sure for the fourth time, if he had done it, he would have done worse. But luckily, in that year, some big shot government official's son got into the medical college on some seat without the merit, and his dad being a lawyer, he went to court and he said, "Kiska bhi hua hai, mere bete ka bhi kare." And he got admission and he flunked his first year. And I said, "Koi baat nahi." So well, to get a long and boring story short, eventually after something like 85 years, he became a doctor. Okay, that's slight exaggeration. But I come from Lahore and we're used to that. In Lahoris, we have to exaggerate. Lahoris and mothers have that in common. Doesn't your mom say to you, "I asked you 100 times. 100, mama, but 12 maybe." But that's the way we do it in Lahore. That's the way we say it. If we see somebody who's very old, we spoke about somebody today and said she's like 200 years old. Of course, that's a slight exaggeration. She might be 90. That's the way we do it in Lahore. We live with it. So he eventually became a doctor, and he's a very successful doctor. He does very well for himself. He's got his own hospital now in the US. He's got his wife's a doctor also, and they do very well for themselves. They're very rich. They travel a lot. They go to exotic places. And when I meet him, and I say, "How are you? How's life?" And he goes, "Honestly, what do you have?" I said, "You got a successful, business. You're a doctor. You've got a hospital. You've got money. You've got cars. And you travel to exotic places. But I can only dream about going. You've got wonderful children and you've got a wonderful family." And he goes, "Yeah, लेकिन तुझे पता है ना कि मुझे कोई शौक नहीं था करने में." So he's not happy. He's successful, but he's not happy. So if you are good at it and don't like it, it's no fun. And if you like it, but you're not good at that, it's no fun again. The element is something, find that thing. And if you need your teacher's help, ask your teachers to help you in that. If you want my help, give me a ring. Give the exams in March, May or whatever. Then give me a call when you're free. Tell me of time. And let's find that element. Look for that. What you like to do and what makes you happy. Is that understood? Louder. Yes, sir. Yes. Well, thank you for saying yes, sir, even if. The next thing I wanted to talk about is what goes on inside us and what goes on around us. We like to talk about fortune or favor or qismat or naseeb or karma or muqaddar, and we talk about these things a lot. And we don't really know. The earlier you know, the earlier the concept we have, the better it is for all of us. For you at least. What's written down, what's divinely ordained, what's divine decree and what's not, what is the qadiyya and what is the tadbir, what do you have in your choice, what is your free will. The earlier you understand free will, the better you will be in your life. So I want you to listen to this very carefully. I really, really hope that I'll be able to completely explain what I want to say today. And if you understand this one single thing, that would really make my day. And not only that, if I'm able to actually explain to you this particular singular point, my life would have meaning and value. Now listen to these sentences really carefully. Whatever happens to you is fate and not in your control. And whatever you do in response to that is your free will. What happens to you is not in your control. It's fate. Call it what you want, but it's fate. It's kismat, it's taqdeer, whatever name you give it. But what you do in response, your reaction, that is your free will. That is your absolutely free choice. Where people go wrong, why people are unhappy, why people are dissatisfied in their lives, why people are failures in life. They're too much worried about what's going to happen to them, or what is happening to them, or what has happened to them, which they had no control over. They don't have any time left to exercise their free will. That free will that makes mankind superior to all other creation. That free will that makes mankind on that pedestal. Man is on a pedestal where angels bow down to him because he has a free will. He can choose what he does. People can choose. A man and a woman, they have this power to choose. Don't give away that choice to fate, to society, to others, to depression. Don't be a loser. You know what losers do? Like they say, there's a saying in Arabic that says that you understand things by the opposites. If you want to know what a successful person would do, you need to understand what unsuccessful people do, what losers do. You need to learn about losers first, in case you want to be one. So that should be easier for you, right? Losers blame others for starters. They blame society, they blame parents, they blame schools, they blame classmates, they blame teachers, they blame God, they blame fortune, fate, everybody. They have no time to reflect on what they need to do. That's a loser. Keep that in mind if you want to be a loser. But if you want to be successful, if you want to be someone meaningful, remember the choices that you have. There are so many choices. There are so many choices. There's so many choices. So free will is the greatest gift perhaps that God gave to mankind, because He gave it to everybody. And free will is not what happens to you. Free will is what you do in reaction to what happens to you. And on the day of judgment, when we shall go before our Creator, we shall not be questioned or rated or judged by what happened to us. Will we? Will we? We'll be rated by what we did. Our rating, our judgment, our marks, our merit is going to be on what we did, not on what happened to us. I'll give you an example. I did not choose to be born in Pakistan. Did you choose that? I did not choose to be born into a particular house or home. I did not choose to be born to a certain father and mother. I did not choose to be born in an economy that's been going down for so long. But in this economy, I went, say, from zero And as the economy was going down, as the national economy was going down, my personal economy was going up. I did not lie, cheat or steal. I'm not a politician also. How did it happen? Because I was not that really concerned about the national economy. I was afraid of my own economy. Because I could control that. I could do things to change that. I did not choose the woman I was going to marry. Choices were made on my behalf. But I could choose to make the most wonderful home for myself and my family. Talking about a home, not a house. And alhamdulillah, I did that. And I'm successful in that. Because you see, I left to God what was in God's hands. And I left and made sure that what He has given to me, I use that. Successful people, if you want to be successful, make sure you make your own choices. Make sure your choices are one you make of your own free will. Don't give loser statements. Decide for yourself what you're going to do. You have this education, you've got this college, you've got this school, you've got this parents, you've got this life, you've got these resources, you've got this house, you've got this money. What you going to do? And I'm sitting in a college, in a place where people with far lesser and humbler beginnings than you have done far greater things than many of the alumni of this college. It would be a deep loss that with this head start, I'm not talking to the poor old Edie's orphanage. I'm talking about all the college students. People have done far more who had far less than you to start with. It would really be a shame if you couldn't do that. What did it? Sleeping Beauty? I know it's boring. Sometimes I fall asleep myself. Far more things we can do. If we have a meaning to it, if you have a purpose, if we understand. So understand this. Things that happen to you are not in your control, so stop worrying about them. I can walk out of my home, get into my car. I give the example of two brothers who were twins. They were born to a father who was a gambler, a drunk, an all-around loser. The twins grew up in that house. One of them became a preacher, an advocate against gambling, against vice, against evil, against drinking, against lethargy. He became a motivational speaker. Sort of. The other brother, a twin, became a drunk, a gambler, and an all-round loser. Two brothers, twins, same parents, same schooling, same everything. One grows up to be the antithesis of his father, other one becomes just like his father. Samajh mein aa rahi hai? Both of these people, these opposites, are asked the same question and they both give exactly the same answer. Both of these brothers, the motivational speaker and the drunk and the loser, are asked the same questions and they both give exactly the same answer. They're both asked, why did you become what you became? And they both said, obviously, because of our father. Why did you become what you became? And they both say, obviously, because of our father. So what's the difference in both of them? They have the same reason. The motivational speaker, the person who does good for others, has the same reason for being what he is, because of his father. And the other brother, who is a drunk and a loser, has the same reason. He says, because of my father. What and wherein lies the difference? Could anybody tell me? Cash price. Not to teachers. Cash price. It's not about the money, it's about the prize. It's about the prize. Nobody says, I got the Nobel Award and the Nobel Prize and I got $94,000. Nobody says that. They say, I got a prize. So who's wants a prize? दोनों को एक ही बात की. I'll repeat if you want. Yes, young man. How they perceived it. Please come up here. What is your name? Come up. You win the prize, young man. Don't spend this money. Keep it. And rub it along with other money. It will become more. Oh, that's true. Thank you so much. I just realized that for kids today, maybe that's not a lot of money. It was for me. You can have more if you want. Yeah, because that's exactly right. You see, one of them, he saw that my father, look at he's a loser, yeah. This is what you become when you drink and gamble and have bad company. I'm not going to be like this. And the other, same education, same environment, same upbringing, same genes, same gene pool. Twins. Identical twins. वो कहते हैं यार वो भी तो ये करते हैं हम भी ये करें. It's how you perceive it. So life is how you take it. They did not choose their father, but they did choose the way they would live their lives. That is free will. I want you people to live your life for your free will. Choose the good, what you know to be good. Don't give in to bad. Don't give in to things because they're just there. Because they give you a temporary high. A nice, And you know what's the biggest drug and narcotic today in the world? Do you know which is the most powerful narcotic, the most addictive narcotic in the world? जी नशा सबसे ज़्यादा पावरफुल है जो छोड़ता ही नहीं है बहुत मुश्किल से अगर लग से लग जाए तो. So most powerful narcotic in the world. Most addictive, yes? Marijuana? Oh, cocaine. Anybody like to challenge his knowledge? All right. Yes, it's very addictive, but it's not the most addictive narcotic in the world. Yes? Even worse than that. But you're bringing a good line. It is addictive, but it's not the most powerful narcotic. The most dangerous thing in you. Because you can do many good things also with money. The most powerful is, we don't have that much time. Does anybody want to try? What's the street name? Crystal meth? No, this one is far more narcotic. This is far more powerful. I gave you a hint, that was answer. The most powerful narcotic, the most destructive and the most addictive is self-pity. It's feeling sorry for yourself. Once you start feeling sorry for yourself, you just cannot get out of that circle. Hi, मैं बेचारा. मुझे जिंदगी में मिला क्या है? बताओ ना, है कुछ? कोई एक चीज बता दो. कुछ भी नहीं. यार तुम्हारे पास इतने से पेरेंट्स हैं, उसके देखिए शबाज के कितने अच्छे. या तो आपका घर है, तुम्हें अच्छी स्कूलिंग मिली है. ये कोई स्कूल है यार, मैं आउट गो टू एक्शन कॉलेज यार. ये नहीं है यार, सर्दी बड़ी होती है. या तुम्हारे पास अच्छी हेल्दी बॉडी है तो हेल्दी, और नहीं यार मेरी हाइट 5 रुक गई आके. यार तुम्हें पेरेंट्स बाहर भेज रहे और यार वो तो असलान चला भी गया, पर मुझे भेजने की बातें होती हैं. And on and on and on and on, and all this life, these people live in this narcotic, drug-induced world of self-pity. और मुसलमान तो क्या बनेगा, वो अच्छा इंसान नहीं बन सकता. Because वो तो जरा drug addict है ना. He's not normal. Self-pity. Environment भी आपको ये सिखाने की शुरू लोग कर रही है. Self-pity में लोग, yes, is that something? Or just a style? Okay. And they make you think, यार ऐसे बाल होने चाहिए यार. लड़कों भी लगा दिए गोरा होने के ऊपर. You know, when I was young, it was the ideal man was supposed to be tall, dark, and handsome. Unfortunately, the trend is reversed now. And वो फिर यार रंग बुरा नहीं है कि I was self-pity की एक शक्ल ही है ना. This feeling I don't have this. I'm not fair, I'm not tall, I'm not short, I'm not heavy, I don't have muscles. The self-pity चले जाओ and destroy your life. It's so powerful, this drug, far worse than crystal meth. You can be cured of meth, you can be cured of marijuana and cocaine, but it's really hard. Then the more time you spend with this, the more addictive it is, because people give you sympathy. कोई देना दे, मैं तो sympathy दूंगा अपने आप को कि मैं बेचारा हूँ यार, मेरे साथ शुरू से बुरी हुई है. That's what this drug does to us. And it makes you become so obsessed with what you don't have that you can never really appreciate what you have. You can never really appreciate what you have. People far less fortunate than you have done great things in this world with far less resources. Allah has given you a wonderful head start. You go to one of the finest institutions in the world. Not in the world, not in Pakistan, in the world. I met your teachers, wonderful human beings. Take it from me, I know. I have taught more teachers than you have seen in your life. How many have you seen? 30, 40, 100, 200? I have taught more teachers in my life. I have spent in the last 10 years 10,000 hours of teaching teachers. Take it from me, they're wonderful human beings. And they're very motivated and they want to do something. They might not understand the method, but that's your problem, not theirs. So give it your free will. Sum it up. Find the element, what you like to do, and what you would be good at. And if you're not good at it yet, you can make yourself good at that. The option is still there. Go ahead and do it. 2. Exercise your free will. Leave unto God what is God's domain. And what is your own free will domain, use that domain. Don't worry about other domains. Worry about yours. And you will succeed, inshallah, and be happy. And the third thing, never use this drug. This self-pity, sympathizing with one's own self, feeling bad and inferior. Never allow this drug to get into your blood. I hope the very best for all of you. And my prayers are for you especially. Any questions? Or we let you go?
No, we have time for questions. I'm sure they would like to.
Yes, sir.
So you talked about free will. Sometimes we have lots of barriers like social, economic, and
Could you please hold on for a minute and use the mic so they can hear as well?
sir, you talked about free will.
Okay. It's still working. Could you please, yes.
Say on kar.
Could you try to tap it or blow into it traditional way? On कर लें उसको. चल रहा है? देखिए जरा tap करें उसको. Yes, yes. Now it's on. Please speak it to the
You
thank you
talked
so much.
about free will.
Yes.
But sometimes we have lots of barriers like social, economical, and religious. So what will be the boundaries of free will?
Well, it's rather simple actually. Let's put it this way. Free will is the area in which you have control over, somewhat or little or more. Wherever you have control, that is your free will area. Now if you are bound by society in some way, I will talk about religion a little later. If you're bound by society in some way, it's beyond your control to change that, ever, then consider that it's out of your free will. If you're bound by the lack of resources in some area, then that's not your free will then. Free will is about what you think you can do on your own. For example, this is a glass of water. I can drink this. I can put it here. I can be happy. My throat was parched. My lips were dry. I feel better now. Or I can think, ये पानी है, ये इतनी दूर से मैं आऊँ ही नहीं कि कोई देसी यखनी हो पड़ी हुई यहाँ पर मेरे लिए, ये इज्जत है मेरी यहाँ पे, दोज़ख में जाएंगे सारे के सारे, है ना। सो आइडेंटिफाई करें। I'll give you another example. हम यूजुअली ना तकदीर को समझने के बजाय उसको यूज करते हैं एज अ पंचिंग बैग, एज अ स्केपगोट। एक गाड़ी में बैठा हुआ मैं, अच्छा मौसम था, हवाएं लाहौर में ठंडी कमी चलती है, मैं बैठा हुआ हूँ, शीशे खोले अपने मजे से। आई हैड बॉट माई फर्स्ट सिडान कार, some years ago। मैंने पहली मरतबा गाड़ी खरीदी जिंदगी में, वो गाड़ी थी वो, तो इससे पहले बस गाड़ी नहीं होती थी, सुजुकी होती थी। तो सुजुकी इन पंजाब फर्स्ट कार थी, बड़ी गाड़ी थी, ऑटोमेटिक, पावर्स विंडोज है। आई वाज रियली एस्टैटिक अबाउट इट। मैं बैठा हूँ उस गाड़ी में, रेड लाइट में खड़ा हूँ, दौड़ करके बात आती, रिक्शा पीछे मुझे आके मार देता है, मेरा बम्पर तोड़ देता है, लाइटें तोड़ देता है। चित्र देखा, मैं कहा क्या हुआ है? जी ब्रेक फेल हो गई। मैंने यार ब्रेक्स फेल हो गई थी, साथ बस खड़ी हुई है, उसको मार देता। जरा से क्या होता, तू मर जाता, मेरी गाड़ी यानी साथ खंबा था, इधर इधर मार देता यार, यार सामने नहर है यार, वो गिर जाता, तुझे मैं नजर आया मार। मुझे महसूस हुआ कि ही इज नॉट वेरी रिमोर्सफुल, दैट मेड मी एंग्री। बट आई आल्सो रियलाइज्ड that even if the poor bugger is going to sell his rickshaw in that condition, he can't pay for my car, because I always have used car and pre-car time में most expensive mechanics in Lahore। तो क्या करें? My wife was with me कि क्या करें? गाड़ी चल तो रही है, टूट गई है, तो हम जहां जा रहे थे नाश्ता करने, हम लोग पूरी खा लेते हैं, हम क्या हो सकते हैं, हम लोग पूरी खाते हैं, ड्रॉन आवर सॉरोज इन लस्सी, क्या कर सकते हैं भैया। मैंने उसको कुछ नहीं कहा, मैंने कुछ नहीं कहा, बिकॉज आई एम a great person। Oh yes, that's also true, but reason ये नहीं थी, because it would not do me any good। क्या करूं, थप्पड़ मारूं बेचारे को, जेल भेज दूंगा, थाने बुला दूंगा, फिर क्या होगा? How would that change anything? The only thing it will prove is that I'm a mean person who cannot forgive, who cannot let go, for whom money is more important than the other human being's dignity। So out of this shame, I don't want to go a bad person, so I forget about it। चलो अब मैं क्या करूं, टूट गया, अब क्या हो सकता है यार। My daughter was 4। I bought my first mobile in 1996। She was about 2 or 3 years old। तो उस वक्त मैंने bought my first phone, तो एक दिन मैं I was taking a nap or something, with a cell phone, it was a big deal back in the day, 20 years ago, to have a cell phone। And I remember मेरे पास वो हैंड फ्री भी, तुम्हारे के पास तो ब्लूटूथ वगैरह होता है ना, तो उस वक्त देने में वो वायर होती थी लंबी सी, और वो आप कान में लगाया करते थे, और वो बड़ा स्टाइल था कि कान में वो लगा हुआ है और आप फोन लेके जा रहे हैं। आई वेंट टू दिस शॉप, वो साथ लगा हुआ है, लॉरी और छोटे होते ना मेरी तरह के, तो वो जाएंगे, और मेडिकल स्टोर पे गया और मैं कहा जी मुझे ब्रूफिन का पत्ता दे दें। उसने कहा कुछ और चाहिए आपको? पागल हो गया। Oh, he thought I was deaf actually। I was very bad। तो मेरे उसने सेल फोन लिया, and I bought that phone back in the day 20 years ago for about 18,000 rupees, which is like, remember petrol उस वक्त 20 रुपए का था या 15 रुपए का था। तो anyway, it's a very expensive phone, and she took that phone and she, like a good little daughter, she washed it well with surf and water, and she came to me, Baba मेरा को phone धो दिया। I looked at her and said, my wife was angry, कि ये क्या बात हुई? मैं कहा नहीं, this is, I deserved it। You deserved it। मैं कहा यार मैंने अपने वाले साहब की चीज़ें खराब की हैं, मैं जल्दी आना सीखूँ। होता ना आपके आगे आएगा जो आप बड़ों से करेंगे, वो मेरे आगे आगे कोई बात नहीं, क्या हो सकता है। And you know, my daughter, she remembers that. She's now in college, but she remembers that event. और मुझे याद करके कहती है, बाबा याद मेरा फोन दिया था आपको, मैं कहा बेटा वंडरफुल जॉब, still doing it. And she has achieved more. You know, I could have shouted at her. She was 3 years old. She was 3 years old. The fact that she watched my phone was not my choice. But how I reacted to that is my free will. It's more about reactions than actually actions. Because actions are happening to us all the time. It's our reactions which we choose, and that is why on the day of Qiyamah, we will be judged by our reactions. We will be judged by what we did, not by what happened to us. What do you think? I hope that makes it a bit more clear for you. So, primarily, we have turned this beautiful, wonderful, motivating and empowering concept of taqdeer into a brain-shifting exercise. Just chat. I hope I have been able to clarify this point. It's a little tricky and new, but you're all intelligent people. Anybody who's out there who's an idiot? Raise your hand, please. Not me. No, then you'll understand, inshallah. No problem. But if you have something which you do think is left out today, you're free to contact me through Facebook or LinkedIn or the internet. Google my name, Jahangir Mahmud, and you'll get across. Ask Hazrat Google, he's a great man. He knows many things. The wisest man of the age. इस दौर में इससे बड़ा स्कॉलर मैंने देखा कभी नहीं, हर चीज को जानता हूँ। So that's any other question? I think we've spoken. There's something going on there which I don't know. Yes.
My question is that can free will change fate?
Actually, free will and fate are both interlinked and they're both independent as well. The fact that you will decide free will is also part of your fate. Now, if you get on and on, it gets a bit confusing if you start doing it. Let's make it for today's session. Let's make it a simple thing. We'll sit down some other time in detail. But for now, just remember what happens to us. What we do in reaction to that is free will. It's very simple. Let's keep it simple. Let's not get too philosophical in that. I have no relation to Socrates or Aristotle, I assure you. Right, thank you very much, gentlemen, for your time. I hope, if nothing else, you were able to take a break for an hour. We'll be in touch. Thank you so much.